This is an announcement to say that Destiny 2 is back! Okay, I'm gonna go now.
Oh my god.
Actually, I'm gonna take the lift, everybody.
What the fucking fuck was that?
Hello,
Sit down, Sam. We don't have time for any of this garbage.
Second recording. First one screwed up.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's a massive, massive news day for Destiny 2. It's the biggest news day since the divorce between Activision and Bungie, which was a very exciting day in and of itself.
A good divorce, actually. It actually went pretty well. I'm pretty glad that Bungie, Activision split up. Okay, it's a good divorce.
2 years ago, it was my business. But see, I don't have to care about that anymore. I don't care. That's the magic of divorce.
I'm a bad father.
Bungie got the better end of the stick.
They're keeping
in
the
my
kids.
Opinion. Keeping the kids, thank God they are.
This is really the fruits of that sort of that separation are now being borne out in today's massive announcement, which covers everything from the future of Destiny 2 to where you can play it to monetization to future expansions to absolutely everything. We'll cover it all right now after the drop. Alright, so Destiny 2, man, that was a meme when it first launched.
That was a giant meme.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
It's now finally recovered, but I didn't think... For a long time, I thought it was not going to recover.
Destiny 1 launched in famously bad fashion, getting like 6 and 7 out of 10 after many, many years of development.
Yep.
It then went on to become an absolutely fantastic game. Like the best MMO light on the market after the Taken King, and Rise of Iron after that. Fantastic redemption story. And everyone thought, you know what, Destiny 2, man, I'm gonna pre-order that shit. Yeah. There's no way they can fuck this up after all that good work.
That marketing campaign was telling the truth.
We always start with the world. Whoa, that is a fucking lie.
Destiny 2 came out and it was just a massive disappointment. Completely stripped out all the things that core Destiny fans loved, and everyone sort of hypothesized that it was really Activision putting the screws to Bungie, being like, hey, let's make this game even more mass market.
Yeah,
let's make it more casual friendly. Let's make it more accessible. The result was just an absolute tragedy. Yeah. The Destiny 2 community basically collapsed, and then it really took a lot of work and the Forsaken expansion for the game to be rebuilt.
Definitely.
Forsaken, fantastic expansion, by the way. If you haven't played it and you're a fan of what Destiny 1 eventually became, you owe it to yourself to play Forsaken, because it really is quite good.
Forsaken for me was like, oh, okay, cool. This game can come back. Before that I thought, okay, this is just meme after meme. And then that happened. And then, of course, the huge split, the schism, okay, that everyone was thinking would never happen, actually happened. And that was the reset button for me.
I actually made a video the week before that, by the way, being like, it'd be great if Bungie and Activision could...
I'm sure they took it after, yeah. I
was saying it as in like something that would never happen in a million years. And then the week after that, they announced the split. I'm like, I'm a prophet.
Yeah, it's the Activision CEO here, mate. Listen, I watched that video. Mate, I ain't going to take his advice. Let's separate from Bungie,
That's
everybody.
how influential I am in this case. Bobby Kotick watching me. So, look, the split between them, my theory on why Activision and Bungie went their separate ways is because Activision could not monetize their game in the way that the Destiny audience would put up with.
Sure.
If you look at the way that, Activision are monetizing Black Ops 4 right now, it's loot boxes. They've got new weapons they've just released that are hidden behind loot boxes. You look at their library of King mobile games, entirely based on scamming people.
Sure.
This is a company that makes most of its money from scamming people, So
EA 2.0.
EA Games.
Here we go. Pay us.
It seemed like, Activision eventually realized that the Destiny audience won't put up with that. And they thought, fuck it, we're not going to make as much money from this. It's very expensive to maintain this game because of how much content the audience demands. We're going to jettison it. And that was it. They went their separate ways. And that's that.
I think that it was a good thing for Bungie and Activision to step away. Number one, it was damaging Activision's brand for having hardcore players really yelling at them all the time. It was bad for Bungie's brand too, because they obviously were getting held back from Activision's monetization ideas or whatever. So both of them to kind of walk away and do their own thing was definitely the way to go. But it really set the reset button for me. It made a lot of people go, okay, what can we expect now from Destiny? And it looks like this latest update, expansion announcement is exactly what people were looking for.
A lot of big news today. So it all kicked off with a Vidoc and a live stream from Bungie. First of all, they announced the biggest news of all, that Destiny 2 is going free to play. All Year 1 content will be free to play. It's going to be called Destiny New Light, Destiny 2 New Light. And that's already huge in itself. It really puts Destiny in direct competition for the first time with the likes of Warframe.
Sure.
And I know they're very different games, don't get me wrong. I played both of those games. But
They're overlapping in a lot of ways.
There's some overlap, right? And for them to be pricing the same way as Warframe now, it's a whole new ballgame.
Sure, I think that I don't know if we would have seen this though if Warframe wasn't the guinea pig. You know, if they didn't show how hugely successful you can be if you create a product that's free to play, monetize correctly, and it built a gigantic audience now from 2013 or whenever it was released up until now. I think Bungie's looked at that and gone, okay, we can do that too. We can look very pro-consumer, hopefully monetize this correctly, and get people on board.
And in advance of this, Bungie made massive changes to the Eververse store, putting a whole bunch of stuff on there, and also changing it so that it's not loot box based, which it was before under Activision. Now you can actually buy the specific things that you want, which is something that's just absolutely reasonable.
Sure.
So thanks, but yeah, that's what it should have always been. And look, I personally am okay with a free-to-play game monetizing itself with in-game monetization, because that's how they're going to survive. And again, Warframe very aggressively monetizes itself in its game because that's their revenue stream. But they're always fair about how they do it, and that's why I've always supported that game. It remains to be seen whether or not Bungie will be able to strike the same balance and deliver really fair monetization, or if they sort of like take it a bit too far. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
But that's definitely going to be something to watch in this whole free-to-play journey.
I think that it was an absolute must, I think, for Destiny to, through this whole rebranding process and reset button with the whole Activision split, was to not only bring back previous players, but also bring new players. And the best way to do that is make a portion of that game free, you know, make them get hooked, then pay for the new stuff. Because if people had to now jump on board the Destiny train, it's $170 or some shit just to like get up to speed with the new content, or maybe even more, I'm not sure. But there's so much money, time, faith you got to put in to be like, okay, I hope this game is good because I'm about to invest a lot of money.
True.
So this is a good way of them hopefully getting out into new consumers.
Yep.
You know?
The other thing was that I think actually at one point Luke Smith, the creative director, actually trolled the audience because he said they were looking for an epic partner for where they needed to take their game.
I didn't hear that actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then everyone's like, "Oh no, not an Epic Games exclusive, please!"
Yeah.
And then he then announced that the game is coming to Steam. So that's great news because Epic Games bad. Steam
Epic
good.
Games bad, yes.
But no, look,
Steam good for some reason. They're not doing anything to fight back, but they're good. Okay?
No, but realistically, the Epic Games Store is garbage from a feature perspective. You can't argue that, right? And Steam Store is excellent from a features perspective. So it would have been very tempting. I'm sure that Tim Sweeney would have thrown a lot of money at, Destiny, at Bungie to be able to get them on his store.
Yeah.
But obviously they didn't do that. They decided to go with Steam, and I think that's fantastic
I think it's a good idea
for everybody.
because I think now it's pretty clear that when you do that, you damage your pro-consumerism image.
Bungie couldn't afford that, man. No?
Not at this
Imagine
point.
that.
I think that
No way.
Bungie was once like CD Projekt Red's stature of like the games that they made, of course, when we're talking about Halos, right? Will they ever get there again? Probably not. But they're on the track now to look like they are back into putting the player first and making sure every choice is about the consumer, and putting it on Steam. It's very
in line
much
with
about
that.
that.
The other thing is they're getting rid of all the bullshit PS4 exclusives, which were so fucked.
Yes,
I know
never liked that idea.
No one ever liked that idea. Sony paid a premium to have certain strikes and weapons and PvP maps only available on the PS4. And Bungie said yes. Well, when we say, I'll rephrase, Activision said yes.
And Bungie said
And
yes.
because Activision, but ultimately, I'm sure Bungie could have said no to this if they really wanted to, but they went along with it. That's all going away now, so everything that's available is going to be available across the board. And
Speaking of cross
the board, there's going to be cross-save available on all platforms, which is fucking huge.
I don't think I've ever seen that on any other game that does that, right? I
can't remember now. I
don't think does Fortnite even do that? Like, I don't know.
Think so. No, I don't think it does. Basically, what this means is that if you play on PS4 and you get a new weapon, whatever, I get the Galahorn. It's not in Destiny 2, whatever. And you've got on a PS4 account, you can log off, you can log onto your PC account, you can play with it there. It's all the same. All of your progress across all of your accounts are totally synced. And the PS4 thing only came through today.
Yeah.
There was actually some next level mind games from Bungie where they announced in advance, or they leaked in advance, that there was crossplay for Xbox and PC. And then they obviously had all this negotiating power at the table today with Sony when they met with them. And then Sony were like, all right, fine, fuck it, you can do it. We'll
Yeah.
organize cross-save as
Yeah,
well. So
yeah.
all platforms are going to have cross-save. Amazing.
I think it's going to be a
news.
huge precedent because there's a lot of games like Diablo,
Lot
for
of-
instance,
yeah.
you know, or whatever, right? Games that you've got a lot of hours in, you know, and you really don't want to feel like you've got to jump on and start all over again just because it's on a different platform.
Yeah.
Let me jump on and play whatever, you know, and I think that every game that's going to come out in the future, they might now try and tick that box. Cool, cross-play, cross-save, you know, like both of those things are hopefully possible.
Yep.
But also, Stadia is going to be the other thing. Now, they were a little bit ambiguous in terms
What
of...
is Stadia, Sam?
Okay, Stadia is this ridiculous shoe company, guys.
Pay us.
No, it's going to be, you know, the way that you can stream games, a new platform that Google is doing. Yeah, Google is doing, and of course they want to compete with, you know, the likes of Steam, Epic Games, LOL, and all other consoles, I guess, right? Now,
You don't actually process the game on your machine. So the processing is all done in the cloud, and then it just beams you an image onto whatever device you're playing. iPad, television screen, mobile phone,
Yeah.
whatever else. You can literally just play it because all the computing is done elsewhere. You just get what's on the screen.
So I wonder if they're going to try and do Destiny Mobile. I felt that
What do
they
you mean
were...
Destiny Mobile. It's Stadia.
That's what I
so
mean, on the mobile.
No, Stadia is you can play it on a mobile. That's the whole point.
But they didn't actually say that in
Yes,
the
they did.
thing. In the live stream?
No, but they don't need. That's the point. Destiny doesn't need to worry about that. Whatever it is, you play it on a screen any size.
I thought that certain games will be on the PC and mobile, but then only certain games can also run the mobile, based on 4G at the moment. That's what I was
You
thinking.
will be able to play Destiny 2 on your mobile now with one of those.
It's
like,
confirmed. Skill Up's confirming it, everybody.
Well, yeah, that's the point. That's exactly right.
Okay.
So it's a controller. Like you will have your PlayStation 4 controller. You can have one of those grip mounts that mounts your phone on there, and then you will be able to play Destiny 2 on your phone if your internet connection is good enough to do it. We will see.
Australia's not, but
Australia,
hopefully
lol, no.
we will get there. But okay, that's exciting. I was expecting in the actual live stream when they were talking about the different platforms you can play it on, they left out mobile from my understanding. But fine, I'm sure it's going to be on
This
mobile.
really, Stadia. Look, I've got problems with Stadia. First of all, Stadia announced today their pricing. It's going to be like $10 a month for their premium thing. It's going to be free otherwise. $10 a month, and you also need to buy some games on top of that. So you're going to get some games for $9.99 a month, but newer games, we assume, are going to be paid as well. So you need to buy Doom Eternal, for example, if you want to stream it on Stadia. That's dumb because I have no faith in Google to actually maintain this platform in the long term. Okay.
Look, maybe, as you said in the car, maybe they'll bring out something, or they should bring out something like, if you can prove that you've purchased it on another platform, it should be also available
Yes.
to them. Because that means it kind of relinquishes any worry. Oh, okay, if this doesn't hang around for two years,
Yeah.
if I bought 100 games on this thing, then I can still, in fact, play them on the original platform it came out on. Otherwise, you're right. Like this whole idea of buying something on a very brand new market that has a proven track record of leaving things behind, like Google Glass or whatever it's freaking called. You know, there's so many products that they never really fully stuck with.
Yeah.
That's a legitimate problem.
So, you know, the one thing about Stadia that I'm actually looking forward to is with 5G internet, you are going to be able to have your mobile phone and a PS4 controller in your bag or whatever when you're on the train.
Full of
And
every
you
game.
will be able to play any fucking game you like. That's on Stadia. So, for example, you'll be able to play Destiny 2 on the train. I mean, come on now, that's pretty good. Like
It's
we
gonna be
can
incredible.
all agree that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it really, really changes the handheld market entirely. You look
Yeah.
at the Nintendo Switch, for example. Like, how relevant is that product when that gets going? But anyway, look, that's all Stadia discussion.
Yeah.
The point is Destiny 2. I mean, it's a really, really massive, massive step for this franchise. Look, I think it's great. I think all of this stuff is very good. But obviously, the proof is in the pudding. You know, the Shadowkeep, we haven't even talked about the new expansion, and there's a whole bunch of new detail with the expansion, which we won't go into now because that's really for specific Destiny fans. But you can expect a new area, a new raid, new story, new strikes, all that stuff. It's
New
all
stuff.
It's the normal flagship expansion you can expect for Destiny 2.
Yep.
It's called Shadowkeep. You know, I'm looking forward to all of that, but look, we need to see how all this lands because transitioning to a free-to-play model for a game like this is a big move.
Yeah.
Bungie is like 800 people strong. That's a big studio that needs a lot of money to keep moving forward. And we have to see whether or not they get that balance right in terms of in-game monetization. So I'm very optimistic. I really am. But I'm also very, very, very sort of realistic as well.
I think that, you know, if it was going absolutely gangbusters, would they have gone to a free-to-play model? Probably not. You know, I think maybe the fact is they're looking to increase numbers, so this is a strategy. So that tells me at least that the numbers aren't as strong as they're hoping.
Either way, we will check it all out. We will see. We'll keep track. It all goes free to play on September 17th, which is when the new expansion launches as well.
Yeah.
That's when it's going to make its cut over to Steam. By the way, if you've got a PC account, you will be able to copy that account from Battle.net onto Steam without any issues. So that's fine. You're not losing any progress, obviously. But that's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Massive Destiny 2 news. That's it for us. That's our last episode here for the week. Next episode you see from us, we're going to be in LA, baby, for E3 2019. Stay tuned. Laymen out.
Cold, the air and water flowing hard. The land we call our home. Push to keep the dark from coming. Feel the weight of what we own. This, the song of sons and daughters. Pride.